Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Sonique and today we're talking Total Tarot magazine and it's come in a box. And why is it coming in a box? Because this issue, parts 60 and 61, contains the last part of the Starman Tarot. Now you may recall we've already received the tarot bag. We've already received the cards, which are massive, really big. Should we put them the right way around? Yeah, so these are the cards we've already had. And the bag, I do believe we had a journal as well, but wherever that is, I've misplaced it already. But full disclosure, I already own the Starman Tarot. I've owned it for quite some time. This is it. This is the box with this pink stripe, and you just pull it apart here, and then it's a tight fit, but there we go. You pull it out, you get the guidebook, the bag, and the cards. And they're exactly the same cards, so you're not missing out on anything. You'll get the full set. Okay, so that's my original Starman Tarot. I believe there was other versions of this as well. There was a special version, and yeah, anyway, so you can see it's all intact here and inspired by David Bowie, and this is the guidebook, and a very good guidebook it is too. However, I've never really worked with the deck because I found it to be a bit beyond me. Anyway, there we go. So that was the flash David Bowie once wore as part of makeup. Interesting actually, when I got engaged so many years ago, we did it as a fancy dress party, and my husband's best friend came as David Bowie with the flash on his forehead. Oh, it was amazing. He did such an amazing makeup job. So yeah, this is the original. So let's get to the box. So in the box we've got the two magazines, 60 and 61 with the Shaman Tarot. Get to that in a minute. And we have this box, which looks exactly the same as the original, and it is, I think, yeah, it's got exactly the same text on the back, and I think what will be in here will be the guidebook, I presume. So let's take a look and find out. It's opening exactly the same way, just as stiff. Probably will also because it's new. Yeah, not the easiest to open. Oh, yeah, it's the guidebook. Yeah, it's the guidebook. So yeah, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. So let's have a little look at what the book entails. So this is the book. It's got the pink spine, it's glued together, it's not stitched. Something to be aware of, you know, if you break the spine. There's a dedication from David and Esther. It's dedicated to our sunshine singing daughter Solaria. Let this always remind you to explore life through the wonder of exhilarating visions. They will reveal what is normally hidden, make you do things that seem impossible, and transform you into someone who can bring magic to life in this world. This says 2023, but I will look in the my original to see when it was first out, but it actually doesn't say here in this edition, so that's different. So for the major arcana, the court cards, the minor arcana, using the tarot cards and the authors. Some acknowledgements. Oh, acknowledging Eric C. Dunn. I like Eric C. Dunn's tarots. Got a few of those. Really like those. Okay, so the journey, inspired by my artistic collaborations with the iconic David Bowie. This, combined with my deep desire to explore and visualise the nature of reality, has given birth to rich and complex forms of graphic art. Potent visual alchemy, as Bowie described it. So he first met Bowie as a child in the early 70s. How fortunate. Worked together in the 90s and then came back to Bristol. Oh, this is really, really interesting. Read it. It's really good. It's how he met David Bowie. Yeah, anyway, really nice. The first version of the Lover's Card is here. Well, that's busy. Then, kintsugi pottery. When they break pottery, then instead of throwing it away, they repair it with gold. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. A little bit about the back of the card, the alien calligraphy, which we saw on the back of the cards. Get them back out again. Yeah, so it's this here on the back of the card, so it's explaining this. So you're going to need this guidebook, by the way. I think anyway. Okay, so that's all about this edition of the tarot deck and how it came into being and how they met in the first place. This is about tarot itself and the history. This is nice. There's an actual timeline here of tarot. So we have the Visconti, Atelier, the Worth, the Waitesmith, the Crowley, which is the Thoth deck, and then this Starman. So Visconti, we actually had that in a past issue of Total Tarot magazine, didn't we? I don't think we're going to get the Worth. Anyway, that's the Evolution, some surviving cards from the Visconti Sforza in 1441. Anyway, that's a really nice bit of history. Unlocking the card meanings. So into the actual card meanings then. So we start with the Majors, the Sacred Clown. I laugh at the game of life. So we've got some divination meanings here for the Sacred Clown. Some background to the Sacred Clown. So this is from the Lakota tradition. Describes the card. It's saying, as for me, no other character so epitomised Bowie as the Hioka, the rapier sharp, wise, innocent, the Sacred Clown. He was an absolute master at piercing reality to expose the absurd. He was never afraid to experiment and discard the design brief when something perverse and unexpected caught our attention. The enlightened player of the game of life, the contrarian, the challenger of convention, he gave me full permission to risk dancing at the creative edge. How nice. Starman, I will blow your mind. No reverse for this card. High Priestess, I offer up the mysteries of life. Yeah, this is really a really good guidebook and well worth taking the time to discover. And it has exactly the same amount of text for the minor arcana cards as well, which is great. No skimping. We get all the way through. We've got a nice image as well on each page. And using the tarot cards. Hindsight, insight, foresight. Ask a meaningful question. Okay, some advice how to do a reading. Then we have some spreads. So we've got the Starman spread. To illuminate your radiant potential. We have the lightning bolt spread, which again is that flash, that pink flash. And this is to catalyse a creative project. Yeah, so it's just two spreads. And then we've got background to the authors. So David is from London and Esther is from Scotland. So yeah, UK, sunshine singing. So yeah, that's a little look at the guidebook. So actually put your cards in your box, should you so desire. But I think you'd have to take them out the bag first. But yeah, it's very psychedelic, this whole set. What a man. What a talent. I just always have been in awe of David Bowie. If you actually see any interviews with him, he's such a well-read man, you know. He was very intelligent, very up on things, and even on the future as well. It's almost he could predict the future. He was an amazing man. So that's the Starman Tarot that comes with issue 60 and 61 of Total Tarot magazine, compared to the one that I've got and had for a long time. And I didn't actually look at the date. I'll pause the video and look at the date. 2018. Yeah, so that'd be quite some time, because I actually bought it when it first came out. So yeah, 2018 is the publication date of this deck. And just to be clear, this wasn't produced by David Bowie. It was all done by this David De Angelis, who worked with David Bowie on album cover, I think. So, but not on the tarot deck. David Bowie had nothing to do with this deck. In fact, David Bowie actually died in 2016, January 2016. So yeah, 2 years before this deck was published. Okay, so let's have a look at the other things we have now in our collection. So as I said, we've got part 60 and 61, so let's open them up. We've got the top box here for the Shaman Tarot. Looks an interesting deck. I don't know this deck. So we get the major arcana in the first issue of the mailing, and then we get the second, or the minor arcana in the second. So look at the magazines in the Mo. Look at the cards first, I think. So you get the majors in the first magazine of the mailing, and we get the minor arcana in the second part of the magazine. So let's have a closer look at this deck here. So this is the Shaman Tarot. It's a deck I don't know. I've never seen a walkthrough. I don't know anything about this deck, but obviously based on shamanism. So this is the title card. This is the back. Let's start off. So we have our Fool. So this is the sacred Fool, he who is touched by the spirits, the traveller of the spiritual world. This is the ancestral shaman, the first magician. This is the mother of worlds, who is the intermediary between the upper world and the lower world. This is Mother Earth, giving life reflected in the infinity of the living forms. This is the master of the drum. There's the drum. He who speaks the language of the spirits. This is the hunter of demons. Wow, a priest warrior. This is love, an attracting force linking the visible world to the invisible. The spinning shield, which would normally be the chariot. Nothing exists outside of this life, death, or rebirth. So instead of strength, we have power, the force that comes from the world of the spirits. So it's actually a human wearing a bear pelt. And then we've got an actual bear up there. This is the seeker of souls. And we can see the souls here. Which would normally be the hermit. The solitary wayfarer. Yeah. So instead of the wheel, here we have the drum of the spirits, the voice of the gods, the thunder that announces creation. So 11, instead of judgment, we have punishment, eternal law, karmic balance. This is initiation, sacrifice of part of oneself in the favour of the world of the spirits. This is the peace pipe. So yeah, we have got a hanged man. So our death card. This is the other existence. The other world. It's a dark mirror of the material world. Imagine the noise from these bells as this figure dances. Our temperance card has become healing. Not sure what I think about this. Part of it says invisible protection, so maybe that's what that's about, but no, seems a bit creepy to me. Oh, so what's happening here? The world of transformations. So we've got lots of masks here. The mocking spirit behind physical mutations. So this is the tree of the cosmos, the axis upon which the entire universe turns. We have a tree here, but we have a village underneath, and these seem to be ascending. The path of the stars. See the path there? Our moon card looks quite familiar with the towers. This is the moon of illusion. There's the illusion, yeah? The world under the waters, the dark parallel reality. Our sun card, the dance of the sun. Okay, so instead of judgments, we have evocation. Secret music that speaks to the spirits of things. This is a tree spirit then. And then the world card is the upper world. Everything that is happening must happening. We've got the Ouroboros there. So that's interesting. Okay, so we look like we've got some suits that have been renamed, and this looks like crystals. So I'm going to have a look in the magazine and see what we're looking at. Okay, so we have 4 suits. Drums are the dance, bows are the voyage, bones are combat, stones are healing. Therefore, drums are earth, or pentacles, bows are air, or swords, bones are fire, which are wands, and stones are cups. Right, this is a bit of a complicated deck. I've just had a quick look, and I'm going to have to put the magazine by the side so I can actually understand what I'm looking at. So here we have bones, which is all about combat, and this would align to a suit of wands or fire. So the ace is the horn of fire, so we have a skull here. We're to the other self, so we've got like a modern depiction there in the mirror. 3, the message of the spirits. It's a very strange image. 4 is comprehension. So again, we've got a modern image in the background here, but this looks like some sort of a realization energy here going on in the 4. 5, the hunt of the spirits. 6 is the ally, so it's our helper. 7, spiritual struggle. 8, meeting with the spirits. 9 is fear. 10, the price of vision. Open arms there as this animal's launching towards them. Okay, so here we've got our court cards. So it says page, shaman of fire. Knight, a little horse there, shows us it's a knight. Ally of the clouds, riding a snake. Our queen is the spirit of mother. Again, we've got this sort of red snake energy here. And then the king is spirit of father, riding an alligator. Okay, so that's what would be a wand suit or a fire suit. So if we go on to the cups, cups are stones, healing. So this is where it's a little bit confusing, because you'd think stones would be pentacles. Anyway, we have some crystal energy here, some healing energy. So ace is the stone of healing. we have a healing stone. 2 is harmony. And we're actually doing some crystal therapy here. Wow. 3, concentration of power. 4, sacred smoke. 5, loss of the soul. Oh, we're encased here in a crystal. It's got quite a devil energy, actually. 6, return of the soul. Okay, so they've shattered the mirror here and shattered the illusion. Okay. 7, serpent of the visions. 8, purification. That looks like, actually, is that? Okay, so it's a totem pole. That's because you can reverse the card, isn't it? Yeah, it's a totem pole. Now I understand. Okay. So yeah, the 8. 9, equilibrium achieved. I think it's amazing, you know, people that do these stones, get them on the beach. I get them all over the place, actually. People leave them here and there, and they're just, how they balance them, I've no idea, but it's really good. The 10, self-healing of the earth. Beautiful. The page is the shaman of water. So our pages have a feather then. The knight is the ally of the water, dolphin energy. Queen, mother of the seas. And then the king is spirit of the pure waters on a turtle. Okay, so that would be our cup suit. Then we go on to bows, which are clouds, and swords. See, where this deck is confusing me, stones I would have thought would be pentacles, but they're not, they're cups. And then bows I would have thought wands. Okay, so the title of the suit for bows is The Voyage. This is Bow of the Clouds, Preparation, Detachment, Call of the Spirits, Answers arising via trauma. 5, Appearances. Interesting. 6, Canoe of the Spirits. It's eagles. We've got an aeroplane as well. 7, Astral Voyage. 8, Return. Needing help, yeah. 9, Fear of Travelling. Wow. It's quite powerful, isn't it? 10, Losing oneself. Page is the shaman of the clouds. The knight is the ally of the clouds. Queen is Mother Crow. Wow. I like Mother Crow. Wow. That's amazing. And King, spirit that guides the clouds. Okay, so onto our pentacles or earth suit, which here is called Drums and the Dance. So of course we've got a drum for the ace. This is Drum of the Dance. Listening. Look at all that growth. Rhythm. Beating on a djembe. Contemplation for 4. And we're holding on to our drum here. For our 5 we have Collapse. 6 is Sound. Oh, that's lovely. These little figures. Oh, that's really nice. 7 is suppleness. 8, possession. Being possessed by spirit, yeah. 9, involvement. His face. Oh, so intolerant. 10, the dance of life. Oh, yeah, rising above the humdrum. Page is the shaman of the earth. The knight is the ally of the earth. We have a bison. The queen is mother bear. Lovely. And the king is spirit of father buffalo. This is one of the most unusual texts I have ever known. I wonder how to work with it. It would be an interesting project, won't it? How on earth to work with this deck? Maybe the magazine will give us some insight. Let's have a little look, shall we? Okay, so part 60. And we've got that image from the deck here, which would be the Hierophant. I like this. They've put the these images at the top here. I think that's really nice. So let's have a look what we've got. So we have the contents page. Big questions. Tarot can help us to respond to profound philosophical questions about life and what it means, or the meaning of life. You've got the key to the meaning of life there. Maybe the Fool does have the answers. So philosophical, ethical and existential questions are uncommon when reading for strangers. Yeah, I doubt you'd have somebody come and say, could you please tell me the meaning of life? Okay, so here we've got Tarot of the 78 Doors. We already had that with parts 36, 37, and I really do like that deck. You know, the idea of opening a door onto another way of seeing things. So we have different dimensions by the looks of this. So we have the material, psychological and spiritual, and the sort of questions we might ask, or the cards that relate to those dimensions. So, for instance, the Devil is the struggle with the shadow. The Tower, the struggle to collapse the illusion of the self. So all these are struggle cards. We have, yeah, they're all struggle cards. The struggle to, so each of the major arcana cards struggles. And practical applications for that. Okay. Then the card in details are 10 of Wands. So we have 3 symbols there. It doesn't tell you what the symbols mean. It says village, a fortified village surrounded by woods lies in the background. But it doesn't tell you why, which is weird. Okay, so essential meanings: fatigue, oppression. Drop those sticks. Themes in the tarot for that card: so personal life, divination, psyche and soul. What the cards show us: end of the cycle. Questions we can ask: what can you let go of? Don't trip over. I think you drop one of those sticks, you might trip over it. How can you change your approach? What happens once you achieve what you've set out to do? Really good questions, actually. Do you really need to work this hard? What can you do to recover your strength after an exhausting task? We have the Worth Tarot, the Angels, the Klimt. We have traditional meanings, upright and reversed, and correlations with the Golden Dawn. Different images from different decks. So we have Lo Scarabeo, Pagan Tarot, Nefertiti's, Tarot Draconis, love that deck, Shaman Tarot, which we've got this issue. We have Tarot of the Dark Grimoire, the manga, and the Fae, which is going to be the next deck in the collection. So for the Fae, it's carrying the burden of success. Here we've got the price of a vision for our Shaman Tarot. Whereas in the Pagan Tarot, it was doing too much at the same time. We have a spread, and we're using the Shaman Tarot. Oh, right, okay, this is brilliant. So the objective: to observe 4 aspects of a situation, understand how to achieve balance between them. It's a 5-card spread. It's an elemental spread. It's the elements. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have a go at that as well. So we have the spirit of fire, water, air, earth, and the voice of the earth, and then the synthesis. So we have special cards here. So if a major arcana card, if that element is the same as the element in the spread, then it holds special significance. So for instance, here the Hierophant, which is an earth card, if that appears in the Spirit of Earth position as card 4, the querent must use their own resources immediately to get help and assistance. But if it's in the Spirit of Air, so the 3rd position, then it's the opposite to Earth. And so this is a warning. They can't count on their own resources as they've all been used up. So yeah, it's using those elements. We did that with the Spacious Tarot. I'll link that below actually, because the expansion pack is all about the elements and astrology, and it's the way that they work together. But if you're interested in that, I'll link it. I'll link my video below. Okay, so that's a bit about positioning and the elements, which is great. So here we're talking about the Shaman Tarot. Ancient wisdom, powerful messages from nature. This is the information you get for each card on the major arcana, which isn't an awful lot, it's just 2 lines really. So let's just randomly pull one. Major. Okay, so the Seeker of Souls. So 9 would be the Hermit in traditional tarot. And here it's the Seeker of Souls, the solitary wayfarer who silently probes the souls of the world, wisdom and experience, detachment and old master. But no real divinatory meaning for it, which would have been nice to have some meaning in a spread, but there we go. This is the creative team behind the Shaman Tarot, which I'm not going to attempt to say because be able to pronounce. Anyway, it's talking about trance, being in harmony with nature, respect for Mother Earth and every other living being. Okay, so the Shaman Tarot was conceived for people who are seeking greater awareness and harmony with themselves, with reality and with nature. The cards of this deck are intended for use by all modern day shamans who feel a little lost in the contemporary world and wish to rediscover the path in the forest, to unveil their animal nature and to reawaken their own inner shaman. Okay, and that's where I got the information for the suits from. The drums being earth, bows air, swords, bones fire, wands and stones are cups. And this is the information on each card. We have a visual representation of the deck. The majors, where to go for Practice Makes Perfect within the magazine, and a sneak preview at the next magazine. Part 61. So what do we have in here? Creating new spreads. Learning the art of inventing new spreads can be fun. The High Priestess contains the secrets and truths of your past, present and future. Oh, we're getting it in Tarot Apocalypsis. I've got that deck. Okay. So it says in issues 43 and 44 we discussed modifying existing spreads, but in this one we're actually going to practice developing our own spreads and how to do that. Question based spreads, spreads based on a theme or a topic, so love. Okay. Carding detail is the Page of Wands. 3. Yeah, again, it's not really giving you the meanings behind the imagery, just what is in the imagery. So it's about initiative and vitality, passionate pursuit, keywords in different themes. We've got that court diagram now again. So our page is here in the bottom left corner, and all about emotional learning. The Worth deck, Tarot of the Angels, the Klimt, the physical persona of the Page of Wands, a student, an athlete, a sales journalist, etc. Traditional meanings, upright reverse, some questions. And then more images from other decks. So in the Fade Tarot, it will be creative inspiration. So yeah, growth of an idea there, look. In our Shaman Tarot, spirit of a wounded land. Very evocative. Okay. And the voice of the earth too. So this is an example of that spread from the last issue. And then, so it's how the elements interact with each other, I imagine. So we would think that the moon is about water, but it's in an earth position. So how would earth and water act together? Look at that. It's not doing it. I was wondering if, which would be a really nice article actually, if it showed the combination of the elements, so the actual element of the card with the element of the position. So here we've got the Hierophant in a fire position, and the Hierophant is earth, so earth and fire, how they would work together to define the meaning of the card in that position, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. It says the Hierophant is not in the earth or air position, so it should be interpreted in the usual way. Anyway, we have another spread here. Gosh, it's a big one. 10 cards. The Drum of the Spirits. Okay, so it's a whole exercise here, splitting the deck up into the assigned positions. 20-minute readings. Many situations when a medium length reading will give just the right amount of detail for both reader and querent. We have the High Priestess here from the Arcanum, which we had with 18 and 19. So a 20-minute reading would be ideal for a fair, if we were doing a reading at a fair or a conference. So it's a valuable reading, good time management, the goals, what not to do. Oh, Pamela, we have Pamela. Pamela was the illustrator for the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, Pamela Coleman-Smith. We've got a bit of background to her, how she met Arthur Edward Waite, who wrote the tarot deck, and they were both part of the Golden Dawn, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And yeah, it says here about that she passed away on the 18th of September 1951 in Bude, Cornwall, which is not too far from where I live, but difficult to find information about her in Bude, unfortunately. We have a visual reference to the minors, which is really nice because you can see the colour coding, can't you? So like stones here are blue, drums are all this sort of, I don't know, like a green colour. We have a red energy here for the bones, and then for the bows, like a yellow energy, which does correlate well actually to the elements of the suits. Practice makes perfect. So where to go in the magazine, and then a sneak preview of what's coming, which is the Fae Tarot. It looks darling, doesn't it? Really does. Look at this. Oh, cuddling a baby unicorn. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we've got more on creating spreads, the card in detail, the Knight of Wands. Then we'll have more on that article, 20-minute readings, the card in detail, the Queen of Wands, and the Fae Tarot. So that's what we can look forward to in the next 2 issues. So there we go. That is Total Tarot Magazine, issue 60-61, the Shaman Tarot, and the box containing the Starman Tarot Guidebook. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, bye friends, bye.